Okay, so now that we've got that data in a table, we're going to represent it in a different way using a column graph. And a column graph is going to make it easier for people to interpret our data. So I'm going to zoom out so we have a little bit more space. So what we need to do for a column graph, we need to draw two axes. So we've got the y-axis, and for the y-axis, it's y to the sky. It goes in that direction. And our x-axis goes across this way. Now, it's a bit hard for me to do this neatly on the iPad, but you will have a ruler and pencil, hopefully, and you will be able to do it much neater than mine is. So the first thing we need to do is figure out what we're going to label these axes as. So across the bottom, I'm going to put my colours along there. So I'm going to put colours. I'm going to label it so people know that these are the colours along the bottom. Now up the side, I'm going to put number of Smarties. And if you're super clever, you will notice that these labels are the same as the labels in your table. Now, the next thing we have to do is think about a scale on the y-axis. So I'm looking at my table and I think I need to go up to at least 5 because 5 is my biggest number. Now, when I put this scale on the y-axis, remember y to the sky, it's the one that's pointing up to the top. We need to make sure that that scale is equal. So I'm going to use my grid to help me space this out properly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I might put an extra one in just for a bit of fun. So now I'm going to label those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll pop a 6 there as well. Now what I need to do is to pop in my columns. So for the green Smarties, there were 5 of them. So I need to come up to 5 and I'm going to make it 3 columns wide. Doesn't really matter how wide as long as it's consistent. So I'm putting in my column there for green and I'm going to colour it in green so that people can see very clearly that they're the green Smarties. And I'm also going to label it green. Okay, so the next one is blue. So blue, there was one blue one. So I'm going to look at 1 on the y-axis and I'm going to put in my column there. Now, can you see how I've made them the same width? That's going to make my graph easier to read. Now, again, I'm going to colour it in. It's going to be blue. And I'm going to label it. Okay, now I'm on to pink. So there were 2 pink Smarties. So I'm going to go to 2 and I'm going to put my column in and then I'm going to colour it in so people know that is the pink Smartie column. And the last one was brown. So I'm going to look at the 4 and I'm going to 1, 2, 3 put that column in. And I'm going to get brown and colour that one in. And label it. So now I've got my column graph, but it is missing something very important. I wonder if you can figure out what that is. Yep, it's that title. So we need to make sure that we put a title. So I'm just going to use the same one I used on my table. Colours in my Smarties pack. Okay, so that is our column graph. And let's go through the features that you're going to need again. You're going to need a y-axis and an x-axis. That's what we need to start with. You need to label those axes. You need a scale up the side and that needs to be evenly spaced. You're going to need your columns that are done nice and neatly, and you'll need to label those columns. And don't forget your title. So that is your column graph for today. Look forward to seeing how well you do it. Have fun.